Gospel according to Mark. In today's Gospel, Mark tells the story of Jesus warning his disciples to beware of some pretentious people who like to walk around in religious clothing to make them look knowledgeable about God's ways. These scribes love to get attention when they are in public places and are happy to accept prominent seats in the synagogue, where everyone will be certain to see them worshiping God. Jesus stresses to his disciples they must not be fooled by these men. He also explains that what bothers him even more are that people are misled and fooled by the mass that these men cultivate for themselves. They put on displays of righteousness but exploit the less advantaged. Jesus says, they devour widows' houses and for the sake of appearance say long prayers. They will receive the greater condemnation. I think we can all think of people like Jesus describes here. I can certainly think of public people who sound just like that. It has been happening for centuries, just as it did when Jesus was teaching that day. We all need to be careful and keep our eyes open to these things. Unfortunately, the evil in the world never stops trying to take advantage of the poor and the vulnerable. We see it every day on the news and in the newspapers. We must strive to recognize evil behind the mask. We must also do what we can to help others see it and help those who fall victim to these people. It is easy to look the other way when you might be the person benefiting from the generosity of the rich and the righteous. It is easy to be taken in when we are getting something special. Often that gold comes with a price. Do our values have a price? Does faith have a price? We must be strong in our resolve to follow Jesus, what Jesus teaches about these people in those situations. Always remember that appearances are just that. Appearances, and that earthly appearance will not matter in heaven. Jesus then decides to observe the crowd putting money into the treasury. It is suggested that the receptacles that the donations are put into are trumpet-shaped to amplify the clatter that coins are made when they are tossed in. He notices that many of the rich people toss in the large ones to broadcast their generosity. Jesus also observes and calls to his disciples' attention the poor widow who drops in the coins that only are worth a penny. He uses this example of his teachings about wealth and accumulation. She is unpretentious and open-handedness in the matter of religious giving. God notices the cost of the gift to the donor more than its objective value. The rich give out of their abundance. The poor widow gave everything she had, all that she had to live on. The poor and the vulnerable almost seem better able to understand their faith and are able to demonstrate it in their lives. They are more willing to share what little they have to others in need. Those who only give of their surplus only serve themselves and their self-interests. They do not truly recognize who God is or what he expects of his people. It is not just money that is expected. We can give in different ways. Time, talent, treasures. We are a society blessed with excess. How do we use our excesses? Time in our society is precious, and often people talk about having no time, but it is how we spend our time. Do we develop our faith? Listen to someone who has no one to talk to, or help out someone who is struggling? Talents. Are we blessed with special gifts? Do you help others, or do you hide them? Treasure. We all have treasures we can contribute, whether it is money or the can of soup in the cupboard, quietly giving what we can with good intentions. We all must keep God's will in our heart and in our actions. We must act as we think Jesus would want us to act, or better yet, asking, what would Jesus do?